Good morning. My name is Louis Schaaf, Field Office Director for the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Office, and I am going to ask you to all please stand for the presentation of the colors. Color Guard, parade the colors. Color Guard, left face. Order, arms. Please be seated. To get this show on the road, to make our ceremony get started on the right note, I'd like to introduce Ms. Brooke Mead and Marissa Carlson, who will lead us, to perform America the Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet whose stern in passion stress, a thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God mend thine every flaw, confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Thank you, Brooke and Marissa. Now, I would like to thank a few people before we go any further that make all this possible. First of all, I'd like to thank Judge McMenemy for agreeing to preside over these proceedings. I'd like to thank Laurie Norton Moffett and the entire staff here at the Norman Rockwell Museum for allowing us to conduct this ceremony at these wonderful, wonderful facilities here. It's just I couldn't think of a better place to have a naturalization ceremony that represents Americana. Norman Rockwell embodies all that, and it's such a great pleasure to be here. This is our 5th year that we've been here, Hillary, is it? So again, I'd like to thank the Dalton American Legion Post Color Guard for the presentation of the colors. I believe they've been with us every year also, which is great. I'd like to thank Hillary Green from the Berkshire Immigrant Center, who was so instrumental in providing us with the names of the applicants from Berkshire County, sometimes to the point that it gets to be aggravating. But But I'm just, no, it's wonderful that we have a wonderful relationship, and she lets us know who we have so that we try to make sure that we have as many people from Berkshire County here as possible. Also, Brooke Mead from the Berkshire Immigrant Center, and Marissa Carlson, which you guys just heard, you had the wonderful voice. David Hadley, clerk of the court. And we're also going to hear today from Miss Ellen Kennedy, who is the president of the Berkshire Community College. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to tell you a little story that I like to tell at naturalization ceremonies about how and when I became a citizen. I'm a naturalized citizen, which makes my job so pleasurable. Is to be here at these ceremonies like this. This is without a doubt one of the best days of my job. This is the best part of my job. As the judge will tell you, it's a great day for her because everybody's going to walk out of here happy and nobody loses in a ceremony like this. And my story goes like this. When I was 10 years old, I immigrated from Portugal. Came to a small little town in Hudson, Massachusetts. Did not speak a word of English. So they put me in school, and every time the teacher wanted to talk to us, we have to use one of the kids who had been there a little while longer as an interpreter. So one day we sit there, the teacher started talking about America being a melting pot. And my mind strictly went, wait a minute, somebody was cooking dinner and left it on the stove too long and the pot melted? So the translator, the teacher asked me, he goes, well, does your mother ever make soup? And first thing I thought, well, that's a silly question. We're Portuguese. We practically live on soup. So she goes, well, when your mother makes soup, does she only put one thing in the pot? I'm going, no, there's water, and then there's all kind of vegetables, a little bit of meat, there's all different ingredients. She goes, that's right. It's not only one ingredient. It's all those different ingredients that make the soup taste good. Well, today we have 17 new ingredients in this melting pot called America that's going to make this soup that much better. And it's all because the fact that we are all different. We come from different countries, different backgrounds, different cultures, different religions. And it's the fact that we are all different that makes this country great. Now, as you start your new life as U.S. citizens today, I'm going to ask you not to forget about your heritages, your traditions, your musics, your foods. Take those traditions and teach them to your children, teach them to your grandchildren, so that they know where you came from, what your traditions are, what your heritage is. I tell people that Portugal gave me a country, but America gave me a life and gave me a purpose. So I encourage you, hold on to those traditions and share them with your family. Now, without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Miss Laurie Norton Moffett, who is the director and the CEO of the Norman Rockwell Museum.
Well, good morning, everyone. A warm welcome, a joyous welcome to you. It is our pleasure to turn the Norman Rockwell Museum into a courtroom on this day to provide a setting for you to become new citizens of America. It's one of our favorite days of the year also. I'd like to add my thanks to all the people who make this possible. David Hadley, Lou Shaves, the Dalton American Legion Color Guard for our opening program, and Brooke Mead and Marissa Carson. Your voices were so beautiful. I think we all just felt chilled to the heart. I'm greatly pleased that we have two of our Berkshire County elected officials with us here this morning. Representative Tricia Farley-Bouvier, congratulations on your nomination this week. And the Mayor of Pittsfield, Linda Tyre. Thank you so much for coming. And I must say, don't ever hesitate to be in touch with your elected officials. We, the people, elect them, and they are here to help you and your families with whatever needs you might have, and they will be happy and eager to hear from you, as well as all their staff and team. It is a presidential election year, but every year is a voting year in America, and I know you've been invited to take that aspect of citizenship to heart, but I hope you will register to vote and go to the polls in November. We have an opportunity to vote on a local level, a state level, and a national level this year, and it's one of the most exciting privileges of citizenship. The Berkshire Immigrant Center, without you, this would not be possible. This was a dream 5 years ago to bring this ceremony here to Norman Rockwell Museum and to the Berkshires. And thank you for all you do to welcome new citizens and help families acclimate to a new home. Your work is just superb, and I know it's beloved by everyone. And we have many local businesses who have also made it possible with the food for the party on the terrace afterwards. I hope you'll patronize these local businesses and realize that you are among them, and that as a community, when we support each other, our economy and community thrives through jobs and services for this community. Today's event, as you know, is held under the auspices of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, and I don't think anyone in the country has a more dedicated, loyal leader of this program than our own Louis Chaves. Thank you for your passion. And his heart is so in this, and I think it reminds all of us of our family stories of coming to this country. Thank you so much, and your staff and team, for all you do. And the work of our staff here, we're grateful to you all on Saturday morning to rearrange the galleries, the artwork, and help host this. Judge Joan McMenemy, we're grateful to you for bringing court here in Berkshire County to the Fitzpatrick Gallery of the Norman Rockwell Museum. Thank you. And the clerk of court, we love having you open court here. Thank you so much. I stand in front of you today in front of 4 of our nation's most iconic paintings, the 4 freedoms. They were painted by Norman Rockwell to depict the ideals that our nation was born to defend and represent as rights for every citizen in this nation and an aspiration for every human being in the world. The 4 freedoms are freedom of speech behind me, freedom to worship, freedom from want, and freedom from fear on the far wall. These ideals were articulated by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt during World War II as the core principles that should be enjoyed and defended for everyone in the world when the world was under siege and these freedoms were greatly imperiled. Norman Rockwell Museum, the namesake artist of our museum, painted scenes of American life communicating his beliefs in social justice, tolerance, freedom, democracy, and the core fabric of our communities. Distinctively American, his images portrayed desires that are common to all cultures and all peoples, as so eloquently expressed in his Golden Rule painting. These desires ranged from caring for and providing for our children, as we see in Freedom from Fear, to laughter and love and work hard and play, to be safe and live freely, to be a friend and have friends, and to care for our families and our fellow citizens and build caring communities. And I hope these are the experiences that you have found here in the United States and are the memories that you will create in your new country with your families and friends. We're honored today to welcome you and your families as Berkshire County's newest citizens. And as you put down roots in this great community and country, I hope that Norman Rockwell Museum will always hold a place in your heart and a special memory of this day. Please visit often, bring your children, family, and friends as we welcome you as members of this museum. We're all, most of us, children of immigrants to the United States and had ancestors who were courageous and took the step that you're all taking today to build a new home in this country. And your courage reminds us all of this great gift of being Americans. Welcome, and thank you so very much.
Now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Ellen Kennedy, who is the president of the Berkshire Community College.
Good morning and thank you. What a special and wonderful day to be here in the Berkshires and to be celebrating the welcome of so many wonderful new people formally into the United States. On behalf of all the other people here and of the people who have gone before me, and I join them in welcoming so many people, we are so excited that you and all those who have come before you are joining us today. You bring a rich culture to our country. You bring new language and words that become part of our daily conversations with people. You bring art and music. You bring dance. You bring creativity and innovation. You bring opportunity for each of us. I want to personally thank you and remind you and all of us about the relationships that you will enhance by the decision that you have made that brought you here to this day. We have so much to learn from you, and we will begin to do that right away. As has been mentioned earlier, you also are given a gift of the ability to vote, and although we hope you will choose to use that opportunity, we know you also have the right to choose not to vote, but we know that you'll do that this year. Just a few days ago, in this very museum, we celebrated the Business Person of the Year. The Southern Berkshire Chamber of Commerce had a big and wonderful celebration, and we learned about the importance of this gentleman and his family to this community, about the opportunities he's brought to others, about his generous spirit, about his philanthropy, about the importance of family in his life. And as he approached the podium to give his remarks, his name is Vijay Mahida, we all learned that he had arrived in the United States 22 years ago. He didn't speak English. He didn't have a penny in his pocket. He has come to and opened up a series of hospitality. He worked very hard, he and his family. They've opened up a number of businesses in Berkshire County. They employ families, they employ people. They provide a warm greeting to people who come to us from other parts of the country and of this world. He represents the American dream. He represents all that is possible. And in that very short time, he has changed so many lives. The final thing I want to mention is community colleges. Right here in Berkshire County, Berkshire Community College warmly welcomes people from all walks of life, from all experiences, from having previous higher education experience, or we're the first entry point of higher education. But that same welcoming spirit is found across the country. So wherever you end up, whatever you choose to do, I hope that if you need it, you will go and explore a community college in your community and find out what opportunities are available to you. There are supports there to help you get through, but there are also very clear and direct pathways and a very reasonable cost to get you through and change your life in so many wonderful ways. So again, thank you for doing this, for making this major decision, for coming and joining us today. I think this has to be, I think it's the most special, but it has to be in the top 5 most special locations in the whole country to have this moment, this service, to take this oath. So thank you for coming today and enjoy what comes for the rest of your life here as a United States citizen. Thank you.
Now this is when I get to do what I came here to do. Your Honor, there are 17 applicants present for naturalization today. Each applicant has been duly examined under the provisions of the Immigration Nationality Act of 1952 as amended, and each applicant has been found well qualified for citizenship. At this time, Your Honor, I request that the oath of allegiance be administered to all 17 applicants, thus bestowing upon them one of our nation's highest honors, United States citizenship.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Chavez, your motion is allowed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're very welcome. And there's one small thing standing between you and taking your oath of citizenship, and that is my brief remarks. And so I will, just to give you an idea and a background of how honored I am to be here today, I wanted to tell you that my grandmother, Mary Sullivan, was born in Ireland, and when she was 19 years old, she left her home and her family and everyone she knew, and she came here on a boat to the United States. And she arrived in about 1925. And she eventually met and married another Irish immigrant named Cornelius. And together they had a child, Margaret. And Mary and Cornelius worked hard. She was a house cleaner, and he was a porter at a hospital. But they had opportunities here. And their daughter, Margaret, had access to good schools, and she worked hard, and she had access to scholarship. And she went to the Our Lady of Elms College as a math major and began working in the 60s in a new field that kind of took off, was computer science. And so Margaret met Bernie, and they had a couple of kids, and I'm their middle child. And as a citizen of the United States, I realized that I've had incredible opportunities. I grew up with excellent access to good public education and excellent access to health care and to good roads and to great museums and everything that you can imagine. And I had access to financing and good scholarships for a college and law school. And now I stand before you today so honored as a Massachusetts trial court justice to administer your oath today. I think that in preparation for these remarks, I started thinking about the opportunities that I've had and how over the years I may have taken a number of things for granted. But I promise in going forward, especially after seeing all your faces here today and thinking about how hard you've all worked to bring you to this day and to this oath, I won't take what I have for granted in going forward. And I think there's a few things that help show us what is a good citizen. And I have a few views I'd like to share, and your views may be different, and that's okay. But from where I sit in the juvenile court, a good citizen remembers that they will take care of not only their own children, but all people's children and the community's children, because our future is completely reliant upon the health and welfare of all of our children. And a good citizen also ensures that the elders of a community are taken care of and respected and valued for their wisdom. A good citizen recognizes the vital importance of welcoming good people from all corners of this planet and never forgets the vital role that immigrants have played throughout the history in building this nation, in serving this country, and enhancing the lives of all citizens. And while we have many differences in our food and music, dance, religion, politics, in the end, we are all more alike than different. A good citizen recognizes that we all need acceptance and fairness and an opportunity to be heard, that we all make mistakes and we all make amends. Our similarities as humans on what's really important are always much greater than our differences. A good citizen works hard and seeks out opportunities to grow and to build and to prosper and to give back. And a good citizen remembers their responsibilities, strives to be a good neighbor, to live honestly with compassion and respect for others, and on occasion, and everyone gets to do this, to be courageous when called upon, to be strong for ourselves and others. A good citizen exercises their rights and never takes for granted that their leaders should be hardworking, ethical, and honorable, and participates in the process to make sure that our leaders who are elected are hardworking, ethical, and responsible. Now, it was the United States Supreme Court Justice Louis Brandeis who has been credited with saying the following: "The only title in our democracy greater than that of president is that the title of citizen." And so to our candidates here today, if you're ready, and I know you are, to take on this title, if you would please stand, the candidates for citizenship, and raise your right hands. And if you will please repeat after me, and after I say the word I, you'll state your name, and hopefully I'll remember to take this slowly and one step at a time. The oath of allegiance. I, and state your name, hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or of which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, and that I will support and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, and that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations. Okay, and thank you. And Mr. Chavez?
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, the next step on our program here is we are going to ask all the new citizens and all the guests here to recite the Pledge of Allegiance with us. We are going to also, right after that, do our national anthem. So at this time, I'd like to ask Hillary Green, who is going to introduce our young lady who was going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'd like to say that she just became a citizen about 25 seconds ago when the judge made you all citizens. At this time, I'd also like to ask Brooke to come back up here, and right after the Pledge of Allegiance, we are going to sing the national anthem. Hillary and Brooke.
Yes, so I would like to call up Paola Rosito, who is one of our newest citizens. She doesn't get a certificate today, but we're equally as proud of her, and she's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Everybody please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Hildegard, take up, present hers.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order, hard. Good job, Brooke. Please be seated. Good job, Brooke. Excellent job. Now, I'd like to introduce to you Ms. Sylvie Green, who is the director of the Berkshire Immigrant Center.
I say this every year, but I'm the non-talented part of the Berkshire Immigrant Center. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, my fellow Americans. I am so proud to be the first to address you with those words, and I am deeply honored to mark this occasion with you in this most perfect setting. You are such an exceptional, beautiful, and diverse group. In this room, we have 17 new citizens who have come here from 12 different countries around the world. In fact, we're representing every continent except for Australia. For the rural Berkshires, I think that's really cool. I have had the pleasure of working at the Berkshire Immigrant Center for the past 17 years. And the center was actually founded exclusively to help people in their pursuit of U.S. citizenship. And I speak for Brooke and our entire staff when I say that helping people on this journey remains the most gratifying and rewarding thing that we do at the center. And I can tell you it is definitely the best part of my job. We have had the great privilege to work directly with many of you on your immigration journey, and you have touched us with your personal stories of coming to America. You have enriched us with your unique cultures, and you have given us so much in helping us reaffirm our own American spirits. I am always in awe when I hear stories and I think about the decisions that you made to leave your homes and begin a journey filled with enormous uncertainty and risk and hardship. And we have seen firsthand how many of you have worked and sacrificed for years to get to this day. John F. Kennedy said, "Yesterday's immigrants supplied a continuous flow of creative abilities and ideas that have enriched our nation. The immigrants we welcome today and tomorrow will carry on this tradition and help us to retain, reinvigorate, and strengthen the American spirit." The interaction of disparate cultures, the vehemence of ideals that lead immigrants here, the opportunity offered by a new life, all give America a flavor and a character that make it unmistakable and remarkable. This is even more true today than when he said it over 50 years ago. You, our new citizens, are helping to keep America unmistakable and remarkable. We've heard a lot about voting, and I just want to also recognize that your timing was really impeccable for two reasons. One is you got this ceremony, and I have to say, the Norman Rockwell Museum is just the perfect backdrop to celebrate this occasion, and having the four freedoms in front of you when you take your oath, I think is just so special. And the other great part of your timing is that we have a general, very major election coming up. And I want to remind you that the deadline to register is October 19th. And if anyone would like any assistance in registering, we have voter registration cards, and we would love to help you out on the terrace. It can be sort of your first act of being an American. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to participate in your special day and to let you know how much I admire your courage and determination. Your achievement really reaffirms my own sense of pride in being an American and the true principles of what America stands for. Thank you and congratulations.
Now, we had invited one more guest speaker, but he couldn't make it, but we do have a recording of his remarks.
It's an honor and a privilege to call you a fellow citizen of the United States of America. This is now officially your country, your home to protect, to defend, and to serve through active and engaged citizenship. Together, we are a nation united not by any one culture or ethnicity or ideology, but by the principles of opportunity, equality, and liberty that are enshrined in our founding documents. Today marks a very special day in your life. You've traveled a long path to get here. You've sworn a solemn oath to this country and now have all the rights of citizenship. With the privilege of citizenship, though, come great responsibilities. And so I ask that you use your freedoms and your talents to contribute to the good of our nation and the world. Always remember that in America, no dream is impossible. Like the millions of immigrants who have come before you, you have the opportunity to enrich this country through your contributions to civic society, business, culture, and your community. You can help write the next great chapter in our American story. And together, we can keep the beacon that is America burning bright for all the world to see. I am proud to welcome you as a new citizen of this country. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless the United States of America.
I'd like to introduce once again Ms. Laurie Norton Moffett, who will offer our closing remarks.
Well, you've sat for a long time, you've heard many speeches, and your own words and speech were very short this morning, but more poignant than any that any of us spoke. We welcome you as new citizens to this nation, as friends of this museum, and as wonderful contributors to our communities. So with that, we would like to invite you all to have a party on the terrace of the museum where you were waiting earlier. There are refreshments. As Hillary mentioned, you can register to vote. There are other services that might be of interest to you and your families. It's really our joy and pleasure to have you all here this morning. This great community that made this possible welcomes you and thanks you for the great contribution you've already made to our community. Thank you.
Okay, I got a couple of things just before we give out the certificates. First of all, this is 2016. We live in an age of social media. And us in the government business, we're no different. We rely on social media. So for the new citizens today, and even for the guests, if you want to, I believe the word is tweet, how you're feeling today, our handle name is #NewUSCitizen. So if you want to tweet how you're feeling, what it took to get here, by all means, please do. If you think we did a great job, go ahead and post it. If you don't think we did a great job, let me know, and I won't tell anybody else. Now, without further ado, I'm going to ask the judge and all our dignitaries to please form a reception line. And I am going to call the new citizens up here one at a time. And I'm going to make a disclaimer right now. I am going to do the best I can to pronounce your names correctly. I may have a hard time with some of them, but I will do my best. If I don't pronounce it correctly, when you come up here, would you please tell me how it's pronounced, just so I know? Okay. Claudia Beatriz Rosito Mercado. Dora Inês Mercado. John Patrick Peter Green. Penelope Tudor Green. Sandra Benduzo Suasti. Leslie Viralis Cormier. Katia Luciana Generoso. Neela Erin Diane Irwin. Mohammed Mehbud Zafer. Hani Fayek Awad Eryan. Jacqueline Angela Quispe Vizcardo. Ulrike Nagel. Roderick Scott Stanbrook. Cheryl Lorena Dembski. Peter Torres Lopez. Oh, she's got it. She has it. Oh, yeah. Nixon David St. Bernard. Niru Banga. Nobody corrected me, so I guess I got them all right. Again, on behalf of my entire staff and all of us here, new citizens, congratulations. That concludes our ceremony. I'm going to ask everybody to please stand for the retirement of the colors. Color guard, retire the colors.